Michael, okay, 13 states have either outlawed daily fantasy sports or have called its legality into question. But why is New York particularly important?
Well, Meg, I think New York is particularly important because, for one, FanDuel is based there. So one of the two major DFS companies is in the state of New York. Secondly, it's important because the market share for FanDuel and DraftKings is so significant in New York. A large percent of its customer base is based in New York, and I've seen different percentages, but we're talking not an insignificant amount, perhaps in the ballpark of 10%. So that's important. And then lastly, I would say the fact that the sports leagues that have associated with these two daily fantasy sports companies are headquartered in New York. All of the leagues are there. It's by far, in my view, the most crucial state for these two companies.
Okay, so if I'm a person and I live in a state where the law is being debated, how likely is it that I'll be able to play daily fantasy when the 2016 NFL season kicks off?
I think the odds are pretty high, depending upon what state you're in. As you referenced earlier, some states are not allowing it altogether, but the trend right now is towards allowing it with restriction. And one restriction being, are you 18 or older? Are the companies that you're playing with, have they paid an operating fee to the state? So some of the smaller companies that are attracting some customers those customers may not have those companies to play with anymore. But I think odds are you would still be able to play provided you're 18 years old.
Okay. Now, if you're out there and if you watched any amount of NFL last season, fans were treated to endless commercials and advertisements about daily fantasy. Now, Michael, the New York Attorney General says it will still bring charges of false advertising against FanDuel and DraftKings. So if New York wins that battle, will fans who lost money be likely to get it back?
Well, they might. It's probably most likely through some of the civil litigation that's going on. The private lawsuits brought by players of daily fantasy sports that claim that they were misled, that they were victims of fraud. Those are class actions, so they're going to include potentially all players, depending upon how the classes are defined. And they've all been consolidated in one case in Massachusetts, but it's really a national case, including New York players. So there's a chance that they'll be able to get some money as a result of those ads. Most likely it would be through a settlement at some point in time that would resolve those cases.